Welcome to the world of auto planning. Now, rather than MRX knowing exactly what you would like auto planned, you can design that ahead of time so that MRX is reactive towards your preferences. So to set that up, you'll begin on the lesson dependencies screen. Begin with step 1 in the top left corner and find the area for which you'd like to set up some lesson dependencies. Now in step 2, I'm finding a lesson that will be automatically planned when the other lessons are at least presented, depending on how I set that up. So I'll work with the distributive law of multiplication right here. This lesson right here means it will be auto-planned as soon as the previous lessons are at least presented, again, depending on my preferences. And let me show you that now. So I'm going to say this is the lesson that will be auto-planned. In step 3 now, I'll go to the same area because I want the preceding lessons to be in that area. But keep in mind, you can create lesson dependencies or auto-plan across areas if you'd like for a more holistic approach. But I'll keep it simple here. So I have lesson number 19 in sequence. I'm going to say, just to be simple, lessons 18 and 17 must be at least presented before lesson 19 can be auto-planned. So to do that, I'll go ahead and select these two and drag them down anywhere in this step 5 box. So now I let go and I can see lessons 17 and 18 related to the highlighted lesson here, number 19. Now, as I mentioned, depending on my preferences. So right now, these two lessons just must be presented in order for this to be auto-planned. Now, I could say I want both of them to be proficient. And just like that, I must record a proficient status on the record progress screen in order for this to be auto-planned. But let me go ahead and keep it a little easier and say at least this one needs to be practiced and this one before needs to be presented. I can also say the highest status I've ever recorded for each lesson or the most recent. And I'm going to keep it as most recent in this case for my preference. So there's actually no save button here. When you drag down here and click these bubbles, it auto-saved. So I've actually done it. I've created the lesson dependencies. These two right here influence this to be auto-planned. Now remember, you must go to the class screen under the setup menu and make sure that for that class, you are allowing automatic planning of lessons. If you cannot access this screen, contact a system administrator of your school to hit yes and save. But just to show this in action and complete the full cycle of what we're doing here, now I'll go to the record progress screen. I just so happen to have these up right here, and I'll select a student. And I can see nothing has been recorded except for these few right here. So when I at least practice that first lesson and present the second, I'll record that just like I put those preferences on the other screen and hit save. Watch the plan status come in for number 19 right below. There it is. I see the practice, the presented, and the plan went automatically in. So that's how it's going to work. Not only are you going to see plan here, you'll be able to review that plan on this screen as well, which is a very nifty tool. It'll show up in both places. And just like that, you're significantly reducing the time planning throughout the day while in the class.